Hey everybody, my name is Chris Johnson, and today I'm doing some updates to my Mark I Stage 73 keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and get some new legs on there, as well as a sustain pedal and a preamp that I picked up from Vintage Vibe. So let's go ahead and dive in. When I first found this Rhodes, it was actually sitting in a damp corner in my grandmother's basement. I was so worried that something bad was going to happen to it, and I convinced her to let me take it home and really give it some TLC. I recently got it repaired and found out that at one point there was a mouse living inside of it, and apparently somebody at some point had spilled some Coke on it or something sticky. So everything is cleaned up now. She's looking absolutely beautiful, and I want to treat her right. Currently, I have it sitting on top of 2 speakers and there's no sustain pedal hooked up, so I'm a little bit limited in how much I can use it. I thought it would be cool to start this video out by letting you hear what it sounds like in its current state. Of course, you can't really go wrong with the sound of a Fender Rhodes. It already sounds really delicious as is, but I think it deserves better than sitting on top of those speakers. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox my legs, my sustain pedal, and the preamp that I picked up from Vintage Vibe and get everything hooked up. Included in the box is the preamp unit as well as an AC adapter. Now, I was a little disappointed that the power cord was not included, but I happen to have a bunch of these laying around, so if you don't have one of these standard power cords laying around, I recommend that you pick one up if you're thinking about getting this preamp from Vintage Vibe. Upon picking it up, I can tell that it's super well made. It's very sturdy, made out of black metal, and it's very satisfying to turn the knobs and hit the lever on and off for the tremolo. Next up, I'm going to unbox the legs that I bought for the Rhodes so I can get this thing off of the speakers. Pretty straightforward here, it's just 4 legs, and I'm going to hook the 4 legs up to the bottom of the Rhodes by simply screwing them in. It took a minute or two to get comfortable with where the thread was, but once I found it, I really had no issues. It's pretty convenient that they come with adjustable legs that I can use to make sure that everything is level. It's made out of very sturdy metal and they screw in nice and secure. Now that the legs are up, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the sustain pedal. It's pretty straightforward. One piece of the rod goes into the top of the sustain pedal, while the other piece of the rod moves all the way up into the bottom of the Rhodes. This metal rod is going to move up and down as I press on the sustain pedal, which then triggers the sustain on and off in the Fender Rhodes. Now that the sustain pedal is hooked up, let's check out the preamp. The preamp is pretty straightforward to hook up. I have an AC adapter that plugs into the back. From there, I plug that into the outlet. Then I use a mono cable to go from the Fender Rhodes into the front or the back of the preamp, and then one more cable out from the back of the preamp into my interface or my amplifier. Now that everything's hooked up, I can't wait to hear what this sounds like. So let's go ahead and dial in the sound by adjusting our bass, our treble, as well as the speed and depth of the tremolo. I'm really loving playing this Rhodes now, and it's a great addition to my studio, especially now that I have it off of the speakers, on proper legs, and have access to a functional sustain pedal. In addition, I'm also super satisfied with my purchase of this Vintage Vibe preamp. Now, one of the things that I lose by having a Fender Stage versus a Fender Suitcase is that classic tremolo effect. But now with this preamp, I'm able to emulate that sound as well as dial in my treble and my bass EQ. Alright, that's all we have for the update of my Fender Rhodes Mark I Stage 73 keyboard. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. My name is Kris Johnson. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.